All right. Had to stop and restart the stream real quick. Check out some other options for my encoding. See how it goes. All right. Yeah, we left off sculpting, and we shall continue with sculpting. I believe we are going to cut this. Like that. There we go. Powerful. Unstop. Huh. All right. So we're gonna stream for the next 2 hours, and then I will end a little bit early because I gotta prep for D&D. All right, that looks better. I'll probably slice off the back of this because we don't really need it. Hopefully the box trim is a little quicker. We're just waiting for it to load. Okay. And we'll do another box trim there. That was box mask. shape all of it here. Merge them into the head and then continue the retopology, and then it'll be done for today. Okay. Pinch this together. Right about there. Don't really need to worry about what's inside the skull. All right. A little hard to see where these touch. Nice. Satisfying. A little bit more tweaking. We just want to, instead of having a bump here, we're going to try to make this a straight line. Eben, hey, you were making quick work of this. Well, thank you, Eben. We're moving fast. Moving fast. But thank you. Yeah, things are working out well. I'm just really getting my process down these last few avatars. A lot less questions that I have for myself where it's like, what's the right way to do this? It's like I just get to jump in and do it. Which feels good. Feels good. Far cry from where I used to be. But also, hello. Hope you're having a good Thursday. Welcome back. Or should I say, welcome, Beak? Because I'm working on a beak. He's a little frowny here. He's got a little smile on this drawing. Oh gosh. All right, I'm gonna sit down. Do you have a favorite stage of building an avatar? Definitely the sculpting. Definitely the sculpting. Um, that's really where I get to play around with it the most and feels the most um, skillful in a sense, like in the sense of what a lot of the other things that I'm doing throughout the process are just very technical. Um, I definitely prefer this part, though, because it's very it can be very. Why is this so slow? It can be a little bit difficult to work with sometimes. um, but other than that, I would say definitely just when you're getting to the end, like it's the hardest part, hardest works at the end, but then it's also the most rewarding at the same time because you're like really just, making decisions quick or seeing it come to life. Yeah, so I would say this and then the rigging. Rigging is really fun. 'Cause then you actually like see it moving. Hardest part is finishing it for me. Hello, Ben. Welcome. How is your day going? Hello, Draw. Welcome. We're working on a bird. Oh, man. A little bird. We chilling today. Don't want to go through the struggle of materials and toggles. Relatable. Yeah, the that can definitely be draining towards the end of an avatar. You're like, okay, I've done all the work, and now I just need to get it in. Um, quite liking this. The eyes here. Need to scooch them back. Or no, we need to scooch them back. Can't have the eye. Sorry, get distracted. Rather pay someone. Fair. Fair. Yeah, the Unity side of things. It's unfortunate. That's definitely the most unintuitive and the least documented because a lot of times you have to, especially if you're making like custom toggles, like you're just making it up. There's no right way to do that there. Wish this was a little different. I love the Unity part now. I just find that I'm struck by how hacky it is. Like nothing you make in VR chat when it comes to a toggle feels like it was meant to be built that way. like there's satisfaction in figuring out how to do it. But should it be that way? How much do you want to make my materials and toggles? Feel free to DM me if you're interested. I just need to know what you need, all that you need done. So you have to charge me $500, please draw. No less than $3 trillion. I agree with Draw. $1 billion. Deal. Your firstborn for 3 generations to come. Edit an avatar. Okay. Avatar. Sound like died. Oh, it's back. Must have been while I was remeshing. My computer is thinking very hard when I do that. I was just saying you're working on a personal avatar. I think it's time to make an upgrade. I agree. It's been time for a little while. Bardock, hey, question. So I made a procedural leather and I put it on my leather jacket with a bone rig. And I started to move my jacket, but it looks very noisy. Why is that? Well, it fixes itself in rendering. Um, so in Eevee, you will notice a lot of noise in preview mode. Um, so like in your viewport, basically. So yes, it is expected that it's noisy because it's just a lot fewer samples, and that's true of both cycles and Eevee. Pretty much the secret to rendering is just that to make something look good, you just sample it a lot of times, like many times. But in general, Eevee is going to look a little noisy in preview mode. Also, hello, Bardock. How do you motivate yourself to get into VR for testing? I'm so lazy, but it's all that's left for me to do in my current comp. Well, you've already hit my secret so far, which is do absolutely you can everything you can out of VR before getting in VR. So nothing's worse than that back and forth process. Um, other than that, stream. Maybe get your friends in there to help you test. You know, get some get your buddies to come by and see what you're up to. I definitely have found that a big difficulty with this is just with this kind of artwork. Hard to do it when you're doing it alone. Hello and thanks. Hey, no problem at all. Wishing you well with your character or with your render. think we need to give them a little bit more of like a smile. We'll switch our tool and we're going to use, for the fall off, we're going to switch it to sharp so that it should have a bit more of a curved fall off. I don't like how boxy it looks right here. I don't like that at all. What can I do about that? I think I'm going to fill in the eyes and redo them. Yeah. Yeah. How do I do that? What's the best way to do that? Probably just delete the head and redo it. I do have this fill tool here. Oh, there we go. That's easy. I can just do that. Perfect. All right. Okay. So now we're going to redo the eyeballs. I think this is the way. this should be a much nicer shape to work with than what I had before. And we want to really try to get that shape. And I think I'll have the eyes offset a little bit of rotation on the eyeball. Because his eyes are on the side of his head. They're not looking forward. Hello, and thanks for yesterday's help. Absolutely. Absolutely. Your baking go well then? So I found out that some developers make color map 2K, but for example, ambient occlusion map is like 512 by 512, so it's okay to downgrade it. Yeah, I think especially when you use something like trilinear or bilinear filtering, which will kind of automatically do some anti-aliasing and like blur the image a little bit. Um, that's totally fine. Uh, Shadows generally feel soft and blurred anyway, most of the time. That's kind of a generalization, but um, so lowering the resolution doesn't really make a huge difference with the filtering. If you were just lowering it on its own without filtering, it might look kind of pixelated. Um, but yeah, I think with the trilinear and stuff, it'll be fine. Bam, and then we'll invert. Take our move it back, and let's say scale it in. We're like that's what we're doing. Bam. All right, I'm back. So, from what I understand, ambient occlusion map uses the computer processing by just displaying PNG instead of calculating in real time. Exactly, exactly. So it's all the like. There's a few different types of shadows, which is kind of weird. But ambient occlusion is the shadowing that happens when things touch or are close to each other. Like when you put your hands together and you look at the crease in between your hands and you see a shadow there. Like that's ambient occlusion. Or like you cup your hands and it's darker inside your hands. Um, and that generally gives things a lot of realism, but can be expensive to compute in real time. Excuse me. I generate AO map from my normal maps. Interesting. I usually bake it Usually you can just bake it on its own, but normal maps is a smart way to do it. All right, so for these here, we want them to be a little bit more rounded, close together. Probably a little bit smaller too. Face is too wide. Got to make sure to use my masking. I don't want to affect anything else. Oh, I don't think my mask went away. So what type of YouTube channel are you trying to make? And are you trying to make a full-time job from it? Um, right now, I do actually make a full-time living doing these commissions here. And the streaming is initially started as just a way for me to be productive. Because I found that I really struggled working in a room by myself. And so initially just kind of started it to show people I knew what I was talking about when I was trying to get commissions, and also to just be focused because um, it is very easy for me to get distracted on like YouTube and all that stuff. Um, so I really just was like, okay, enough of that. Too many days spent staring at some streamer doing something. I was like, okay, I'll use that to my advantage. I'll start there with my own work. Um, and so I started on Twitch, and I've had this YouTube channel for like a decade now, um, mostly just to share art and stuff and um, save some of the work I did. It's kind of like a repository of the stuff I was making. And yeah, just kind of continued to evolve. I think I may try to pursue like being more of an educator, um, because that would work well for where I am and help me like make things that I can share with a bunch of people. Other than that, I'm not necessarily the best streamer or the best content creator. uh, I mean, I like what I do and I'm proud of what I do, but I also think that um, streaming and content creation definitely has like a factor of entertainment to it that um, you know I could really try to push that, but I don't know if that's necessarily my cup of tea. Mostly like just being able to share what I do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But right now I do make a full time living making VR chat avatars, so this is mostly just an extension of that. I can kind of think of it like in reality, if I could have an art gallery, and I would go to my gallery and work. This is like the digital version of that. Be nice to do full time VRC. What is your advice getting to the point where you could live off of it? Um, Definitely start small. I think in any of this work, it's very easy to want to just jump straight into doing it full time. But what's going to matter most is like your portfolio. Well, thank you, Bardock. Thank you. Um, like, you know, are people interested in hiring you? And I think you can scale that up just over time. Start with things with projects that are um, achievable, like you know, products, things like that. Um, like I think if I had any advice, it would be just do products until people start asking to commission you. But set your commission prices at a very reasonable rate. And when I say reasonable, not like cheap, as in going, it takes me 40 hours to work on this, to make an avatar, and my time should, like, however much money it takes, should reflect that. So let's say, $400 at 40 hours at $15 an hour is $600. It's like, it takes me a week to spend that amount of time. And don't make that transition into doing this until you know that the money's worth it. Because I think the mistake I have made frequently, many times throughout my career, is like working too cheaply. And even in some ways, like now, it's like I could probably charge a bit more and just wait for like larger clients. Um, but I've had so many moments of like, wow, I really need money right now, or else I can't eat this month or pay rent this month. Um, anyway, so what I'm saying is like, you should approach it in the direction of financial stability. As long as you're devoting time to this, you're like, I'm able to like get a job at a coffee shop that's part time and work 20 to 30 hours at a normal job, and then have time each week where you're setting aside and investing and growing and learning. And eventually that work will get you more, or that your time invested in art will get you the work. Yeah, I did like 10 commissions at $60 average and it burned me out as all hell. So making like $10 to $12 an hour. Um, yeah, I think, and if you look at if you go on to, because one of the biggest problems is that you're competing with people that either live in other countries where the monetary value they get out of it is worth it for them, or you're working with people who don't know how to, or you're competing against people who don't know how to price their work, and they're going to charge $100 for something that's actually going to take them 60 hours, and they're basically working for pennies, and they don't know it. They think that they're, and I've done this. This is a critique I'm leveraging at myself. um, but you got to be really careful of that. And I think I would only step into it once you know the money's there. And as long as you're putting in the time to learn and grow your skills, you will eventually get to that point. But it has to be a healthy relationship for you to actually get that far down the road. Um, like if you just jump straight in and you can't make enough to support yourself, no matter what, you won't be able to do it because you literally can't stay afloat. Um, anyway, other than that, I think about this a lot, and I've given advice a few times, and it's funny because I feel like the more I talk about it, the more my advice has less to do with the actual art, and it has everything to do with like maintaining your health, maintaining your finances. Because if you do like this and you are putting in the time already consistently, all you need to do is keep cultivating that, and it has to be in a healthy way. Damn, that sounds stressful. I've had some tough moments. um, yeah, it's there's been some really hard moments getting to this. Um, I'm very happy to be where I am right now because more than at any other point in my life, I feel like, okay, I figured it out. what I can do, where to find people. But I'm going to give you some advice just regarding VR chat rather than just like, oh, how do you make it? And like, I'm going to change notes here. In terms of like finding work for VR chat, Discords are great. Discords are absolutely fantastic. Like there's very active communities. VR Chat Traders Discord um, is great. That's where I really kind of got my start because they'll verify you. It might take a little bit of time to get verified, but I do think it's worth it. And especially at the start, it's kind of the right way to go to like prove to yourself and prove to others like I do know what I'm talking about. Um, I do know how to make these things. And you can target specific roles too. They have roles just for texturing, just for modeling, just for rigging. So you can kind of like get good at one thing and only offer your services for that one thing. And that's a great way to kind of ease into it doing full time, um, because you can start with work that you are very comfortable doing, know how to do, and do it in like bite-sized chunks. Um, then sorry, I'm looking at these feathers here. This one might have needed to been further up. Perfect. Um, like this. Should have been like this. But yeah, that would be where I'd recommend to like start. Um, a little bit further up again. Also, you can genuinely just walk around VR chat and probably find work. Um, Absolutely. When I was starting, I only knew how to make a very basic Abby. In each crom, I would learn a new process like adding several outfits, doing material swaps, audios, animation, etc. Definitely don't need to know everything in the beginning. Just be willing to learn and clear about your expertise or experience with your client. I 100% agree. Nothing's worse than agreeing to do something that you don't actually know how to do. I've done that a few times. Not necessarily with VR chat avatars, but artwork and just like, I just need the work. And it's like, yes, but yeah, if I had to do my art career differently, I would have genuinely just spent a lot more time working at like a normal job, um, and just building up my skills, which is generally how most people approach it. I think I just was kind of stubborn. Uh, but I think exactly what Draw's saying is a spot on 100%. Build it up slow, build it up in a way you can repeat. Excuse me. My only problem with my area, everyone wants guns and I hate doing them. I just want to tell them no. I would definitely just tell them no and be like, that's not what I want to do. uh, better to do work you are look forward to. I mean, if you have a base and a prefab, you can make it easy for yourself so you don't spend as much time on something you don't like. And having them have your clients have reference, so nice. Even if it's like something you guys find online or something, like, oh, I really like this image. Um, some people may be miffed if I encourage AI art, but even an AI generation is better than starting from just like, oh, we'll figure it out, just going back in 3D, back and forth in 3D. That's a very quick way to burn out. Like, have a very clear understanding before getting in 3D of what they want and what you can do. You want as much as possible figured out before you get in the software. 100%. I ask my clients like 50 questions before even sketching the design out. Oh, you do the designing as well. Wow. Respect. But yeah, if you aren't already a Fallout, definitely check out the VR Chat Traders Discord. I'm gonna type how that's spelled in the chat. Um, Definitely check it out because there's a lot of people that are learning it as well, the same interest. Get involved in the community. It's nice to be like coming by here is a good way to get questions answered. Um, and they also have like you can go and work and hang out with people while working. It's a great way to stay motivated, um, even if you're just seeing what they're doing from like a distance or something. Just be involved in a community of people that are making. There's a phrase, there's a quote I hear from Jimi Hendrix very frequently, and I think about it a lot. Or not, I haven't heard it frequently, but I think about it a lot, which is you always want to be the person who knows the least in whatever community you're in. If that makes sense. It's like you you want to be surrounding yourself with people who have something to teach you. Um, and VR Chat Traders Discord is a great way to do that. Just join now. Heck yeah, awesome, awesome. Damn glad, glad. um, just one final thought is like, yeah, it's me right now, purple face crying. One final thought is that whatever you learn for VR chat, just keep in mind that all of these skills are 100% applicable to the actual video game industry. And like freelance is not something a lot of people want to deal with. But the skills you learn doing avatar work, making custom avatars from start to finish, getting them in Unity, it's like you can absolutely build up your portfolio and start going to game studios. It's the same. It is the same step. If you learn how to make VRChat avatars, learn how to get them into a game, make animation stuff. It's like you are making yourself very hireable for studios. I think it's kind of understated in the VR chat community that we are actually learning how to make video games together, and like it feels different. It feels somewhat isolated in some ways, but it's totally not. It is the same thing. that'd be a really good place. I'm really putting into thought into making a really good Gumroad base and selling outfits. I would love to produce outfits. Heck yeah, that's awesome. You guys are actually looking into internships in game companies. That's a great place to start. I mean, if to be honest, like you may already know a decent amount more than you'd expect. If you go into an internship, you might be surprised, like, oh, I already know this. I already know that. I'd love to work for a company one day and make my one game one day. Heck yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Then yeah, definitely embrace VR chat. So many people are working on incredibly cool projects here. There's like people making games within VR chat, and I think that will get big eventually, much bigger than it is now. Um, but just keep in mind that you're basically already making games, uh, and and VR chat may just be a good place to get the experience you want, and then end up working at a studio or something. All right, I think this looks good, and we're gonna go ahead and merge all this into the main body. Actually, I'm gonna finish the little hair tuft, get the eyes set, and then screenshot it, double check it with the client. Make sure we've got everything situated. Oh. Darn. The eyes are so difficult on a setup like this. Maybe I'll do. Maybe I won't do. Um, maybe I won't do eyeball saw. We'll do sockets or just a pupil. We'll just do sockets and a pupil. That'd probably be easier. Yeah, yeah, that's what we'll do. Yeah, and I can still bake it into a rig. Okay, it's gonna be too hard to get the eye to fit there properly. Character's too stylized for it. All right, let's look at these little fluffs on top. Or no, let's make the eye. Say 16. But one last thought, just since you're talking about career oriented stuff, is I do think VR chat will be very um that video games right now, it's like when I graduated college, you had a few options. You could work for studios, you could do freelance. That's pretty much it. You're either working for a company, you're working for an indie company, or you're doing freelance. Those, or you're working for yourself. Those are the four options. But now there are platforms like Roblox, Fortnite, VR chat, and there's going to be a lot more in the future. Like they are a very different um, beast than what existed in the past. Uh, and I think that they will probably be able to provide a lot of value to tons of different artists. Um, all right, I think that is better. Let's just make the eyebrow as well. Now, if you guys have any other questions about that, you let me know. I can continue to rant about it, but I also don't want to beat a dead horse. Hello, Nammers. Welcome. Welcome back. Hello. I love to make a full career out of this supportive family. It's a career where I can do whatever, uh, do when I'm super old as my body worsens with age. Long term, it would be a healthy life. It can be. It can be. You got to make sure exercise. You know, I genuinely think that the best advice I could have given myself 20 years ago would be to do 30 minutes of running every day. Like, just get your brain as healthy as possible because depression's real. And you may not be able to fight hand to hand with depression, but you can outrun it on a treadmill. I like my parents are like my grandparents are so depressed after their retirement. We have to think about that even after retirement, we can still do this and make money off of it. Fair, fair. But who knows? Maybe AI takes over and money stops existing. I'm just kidding. I think that's a good way to look at it. And it certainly is true that this isn't hard labor, and in the sense, I mean, it's still labor, but it's not. You're not in the having to sacrifice your physical well-being in order to get to work. AI takes care of us all, hopefully in a nice way. Do you think AI will take over soon, like it somewhat did with art? It's. I think that things will change. That's really all I can say. Like, I don't. It'll be impossible to say what direction it goes, but I don't think it's gonna go away. It's like I think it's really easy to go to get the impression that like, oh, I think that it's good to plan for it, use it as a tool, and really investigate how you can continue to do what you want to do with those tools. Um, because yeah, I don't think the genie goes back in the bottle. I can't do hard labor again. I worked so hard at my last job, broke my femur. My goodness. Ever since then, I just can't work for anyone like that ever again. Wow, that's quite the bone to break. Um, that's the strongest bone in your body. Well, dang. I hope you're doing better now. That's quite serious, though. And definitely wise to look into something digital or tech related for a career. Took around 2 years to fully heal. Dang, wow. Um, yeah, my dad broke his femur when I was in high school. He had to get a rod in it. You probably did too. I mean, what else can you do with that? Um, and Bardock, to kind of develop your continue to rant about AI, but it is something you'll want to pay attention to. And I'm kind of this opinion now. It's like, oh, what if AI could do my job 100%? Like I think about that often. But it's like the moment AI can do this job 100%, then it could probably do any other job. So it's like I kind of thought I've kind of developed this mentality of like it just won't. There's very little you can do to avoid it, so you might as well just do what you love and hope for the best. It was a stress fracture, thankfully. They wanted to rot it, but I said, hell no, won't feel that for the rest of my life. That respect. I respect that. Yeah, I feel bad for my dad. He definitely it took a long time for him to adapt to that. Um, Shout out to dad if you're out there. Um, you don't really know what to expect when you get an injury like that. Man, I love AI to do my job, and I can just do no job for the rest of my days. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. But I just I kind of have to just be okay that it may I would certainly won't know how it's gonna play out, and it's definitely gonna play out in a way that I won't be able to predict. Um, so just enjoy the ride. Yes. Gives you perspective. I only worked for that job for 2 3 months and got it. Wow. They worked me like a workhorse so much. I remember driving home, passing out my lawn in pain and exhaustion every day. Was that construction? With so much hell, but I was stupid and young, didn't know how to say no. My goodness. Well, I'm glad you are no longer working for them. Raised by my Ford car and factory grandma, thought, let me work hard. Okay, okay, interesting. I mean, certainly in the past is like you did that was what it you just worked until you couldn't. Really only thanks to technology that we even have other options at this point. I just got an ad for a makeup thief with a trailer themed as horror movie. Oh my god, my lashes are missing. um, I feel a little proud of this, but my ads on like Twitter and TikTok and all that, they're now like 100% like makeup commercials and like other very feminine oriented ads. And I'm like, ha, Twitter doesn't know me at all. I've beat the advertising. You pranked them, Sam. Exactly. Take that, Elon. Or does it? Yeah. Time for my drag era. I'll set that 2%. Not quite sure about these shapes here. It's like a little plume. Little doop. Little tuft. I like this little fluff. It's like a down feather. This model looks great. Oh, thank you, Namers. Thank you. Yo, I'm back. What did I miss? Everything. No, you're fine. Right now we're working on. I was gonna send you a screenshot, but we've got pretty much the head close to finish. We're gonna go with, instead of an eyeball or the eyeball, we'll do the pupil, kind of anime toon style socket. Doesn't make sense. It's okay, but if I say, it'll be a little bit more cartoonish on it. But yeah, there we go. Looking pretty good though. Just trying to figure out these little fluffs here. Excuse me. Wow. Smoothly challenged though, you got this. Well, thank you. So in Dishonored 2 wireframe, the hairstyle is part of the head mesh. It's a singular object, and I did the same, but along the border between the skin and hair is a thin, pixelated line. I wonder how they did the same, but with no noticeable border at all. Some games use if you look at eyes, they have a tear line object. It's not something I've employed in my models, but I've seen it used. So maybe it's something like that, like another little thin mesh where they meet. Also, potentially you don't have the full model. Could be another thing to keep in mind. May not have the entire model for directly from the game. Sometimes the rips may not include everything. We're talking about Dishonored, not VR chat avatars. How long does it take to make a living off freelancing VR chat characters? Not as long as my struggle to try to do concept art. So I did a few other jobs throughout the years, but from part time to full time, it's been about 4 years. 4 years of doing this. So I mean, that's a decent chunk of time. But that's not terrible, you know. Starting out with a little bit of work and slowly working my way up to it. Try reverse engineering to get models from the game. They have their own game engine. I was able to get a Word file with 30,000 pages with point coordinate in some bizarre file format. Yep. Hello, Era. Welcome back to see how they did. Let's see. If you go to Sketchfab, you might be able to find some Dishonored characters. Looks like a lot of this is just fan art, though. Let's see. Yeah, I wonder if I don't know if that's a long time. It is a long time. It is a long time. And I was doing other work in between that work and here. Or what am I trying to say? Yeah, it is a long time. But relative to a career, it's not too bad. Just depends on what you're looking for, I suppose. I'm gonna move this. Call this one mouth actus. I want to move that to hidden. Perfect. All right, now what we're going to do is a little different. We're going to take our objects here, mask them, except for the bottom. Like that. And then do mask extract. Maybe I should have done inflate. We'll try a few different ways. All right, sit down. Sit down. I'm only gonna stream for another like hour and 15. I also found out that you can transfer free open source animations onto your armature if they have the same number of bones. The skeleton doesn't matter, it'll deform accordingly. Are you in Unity? Are you using Unity or Blender? Oh, that's not. I hoped it would be. All right, back into this. We're going to mask the back now. Then mask, grow. Perfect. Let's sharpen it a little. Mask, grow. Fortnite's data from now, you can animate loop animations like walk cycles in Blender and then export to Unity. My knowledge is complete theory for now. Is this Alt Defender thing safe with that Discord server? Alt Defender. I'm not sure what Alt Defender is. Um, the VR chat traders I've used quite frequently, so I'm pretty confident that they've. Oh, is it like a verification thing? Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would worry about that. Um, so yes, you can make looping animations in Blender and then transport them over. Um, yes, so yes, that is what you would want to do. Sometimes people export the animations to a separate file, so they have like an animation only file. Depends on what you want to do, but you can definitely include them with FBX. Me personally, I'm trying to make an FPS gun animation channel with funny animation, and I'm also trying to make a gaming channel. I hope I can make a living off it. Well, I wish you well with that, Bardock. That's certainly a good goal to have. Um, and there's a lot of people interested in learning how to make FPSs and stuff. So I think you'd find a good following. All right, I think that works. We'll want to clean up the edges a little. Oh, what the? Huh, I wasn't expecting that. I get really paranoid with identity theft and hacking, so it's just making sure. Yeah, a lot of VR chat Discord servers have introduced verification, but it is precisely for your concerns that they're doing that kind of stuff because they are taking measures to prevent that exact kind of thing. Oh, I haven't remeshed that. And the one thing to keep in mind with the VR, this server as well, is like that's what they offer. They're there to offer basically a service to connect clients and artists. And so identity theft is one of the main concerns. Not a fan of this big space between them. Maybe I'll make the beak a little thicker. Thicker. Hot balls. These might be too close together. So I don't particularly like working this way. I may go and redo the beak and stuff with the subdivision. It's just be a little bit quicker at this point. I don't like having being stuck going back and forth with all of this. Yeah, I'm going to do that. It'll just be a little bit faster at this point. And then I'll get perfect and precise results as well. Just kind of annoyed that it's taken me so long to get this to work properly. Just work. Especially this little subtle curve on the edge. It's like I'd love to have a super precise bevel for that. So that's what we're going to do. Hello, Snardom. Welcome. How is your afternoon going? So much never known. It's definitely a new world. There's a there's a lot to VR chat. Well, it's kind of night here, but it's going well. Good. Good. We're working on this guy's beak. Just popped in and saw Kaiser's question in chat about animation transfer. Anyone been talking about it already? I think he got his question answered. I'm not entirely sure. Kaiser, did you get your question on animation answered? I believe he was saying he figured out he could transfer animations. So I think he figured it out. I believe. Free animations and bone numbers. Recently did some animation transfers, but bones don't have to even be similar. You won't need the same amount of bones. Interesting. I was always under the impression animations had to be very precise, but maybe that's my experience with Unity instead. Unity has to be a little specific, I believe. Pacific. You don't even need the same amount of bones. It is better if it is, but it's not a must. That's interesting. Is there any sort of like reassigning that you have to do? I would assume at least a little. How goes the sculpting? It is going well. I'm getting a little tired of trying to sculpt the beat so precisely, so we're gonna do a. We're just gonna do this. I was like, oh, I want to be really, really precise with this. Like, you know, it's better hand modeling. Actually, let's not crease those. Or actually, we do want to crease them. And then we'll also, yeah, look at that, much better. We'll also add a bevel at the bottom that uses the weight. And we can bevel weight it. Like that. Now it's hyper precise. So the skeleton rig one has bones, and then you link them with retargeting add-ons, playing around. Oh, okay, so you are using retargeting on a skeleton slash rig too. Okay, yeah, I use the. See, that's what I was going to recommend. Big for the big boy, big boy, big boy. Yes, yes. And now we have very precise interior for the beak and stuff. Okay. And we'll go ahead and duplicate this one, move it down, separate it, hide this one, It's okay to link the retargeting add-on here. Absolutely. Go. Hello. I'm having a shawarma. I'm jealous. I love shawarma. Shawarma is delicious. Welcome, Thorn. Hello, hello. We're working on a crow man. There was a place near my last apartment that made a jalapeno chicken shawarma, and it was really good. It was really, really good. I miss that. I'm getting hungry. Gyro. I think it's more of a gyro than a shawarma, but who cares? It's delicious. There's an overlap for sure. Interesting. I was looking at the commissions for that Discord server, but there's already a good amount of Fallout ones. But they're all closed and old. I was worried what I do. I wouldn't be. It wouldn't be what I wanted, but there's a lot of it. Okay, good. Oh yeah, there's um, there's certainly a lot of people that love Fallout, and there's a lot of commissions to take items from games and use them and stuff. Grind with GRT. Okay, exactly. Excellent options for game dev workflow for animations. Interesting. Interesting. Reminds me of XPie. Sorry for the spam. That is all. No, you're totally fine. Yeah, Kai, if you're here, that may be a good tool for you if you're looking to retarget animations. Select loops, edge loops. There we go. Edit space. Okay, so now we've got the bottom. Let's take this one, kind of move it up a little, kind of squish it in, both that way and this way. And then we can take this and this, bridge, and then crease them. Probably even crease this one. I don't quite want it to be that pointy though, so we'll just move it. All right. So many versions of the beak. But now we've got some good ones. Got some good ones. Ones that we can really control. I should have done. I knew I was like, when I was sculpting them last, I was like, I should probably make a subdivision version. Nah. Should probably make a subdivision version. Nah. What do I end up doing? Making a subdivision version. Did you know that shawarma is Turkish? It's mine now. I claim the food for me. Chasing perfection again, are we? Nah, maybe. Perhaps. I just can't help myself. I want it to work this way. Level 5 got rid of Skibbity Toilet. What the dog doing? Only in Ohio. Do you have that on like a hotkey? Oh, it's not connected. Oh, it is connected. It is on my hotkey. I knew it. I knew it. Okay, perfect. And that's what I wanted. I wanted these to line up and close perfectly. It'd be so weird if you're looking at him and he's got this gap on his beak. Just did not want that. It was upsetting me. And I wanted to cry. There we go. Perfect beak. Just like the gap between my teeth. My teeth close. Oh, we're so close to done. We're not super close to done. We're closer to done. Close-ish. Bros mewing. Is that the thing where you do the like you hold your tongue or something? Oh, this guy's mewing. I was like, I'm not mewing. Such a weird term. Mewing. Who thought of that? I bet a furry thought of that. Some Chad Catboy. Alpha Catboy. You could be mewing, who knows? It's true. It's like what do they call that? Kegels. Gen Z thought of it, I guess. No one knows I'm mewing and Keegling. Gen Z thought of it, I guess. Gen Z is Gen Zine. Or are they Zenjing? Zenjing. Looks a little upset from the front. I think we'll make his head a little bit thinner. No, I think it's fine. Just no, it should be taller. Okay, so thinner, I mean. He's a bird. Birds have thinner heads. So I'll take this guy and these ones. And we're going to thin it by, what is that? 0.92. Okay. Then we're going to go into the sculpture here. I belong to the right generation. What does that mean? It sounds vaguely odd. Tell that to the Pelicans. Oh, that's much better. Yeah. Just a quick edit, too. 20 more minutes of stream. I am ending the stream a little bit early because I've got D&D tonight. But I think we'll be able to basically finish him tomorrow, hopefully, if not Monday. I just mean that my Gen Z-ness is Gen Zenessing. Gen Zenessing. Gen Zenessing. Powerful. Palpable. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. He looks good. Oh, except I put some of my objects in the reference folder again. All right, let's make a backup copy. Because we made quite a few changes to the face now. So many so that I'm going to delete some of this stuff. Not these, the sculptures, for sure. So I want that precise beak. Precision beak. Bird speed run wall. Any percent bird. Bird run. All right. So we'll go to Retopo body. Select Retopo torso. And now we need to adapt it to all our changes. Which are quite a few. They're rather extensive. Just going to do a really rough repositioning. Like that. Not too bad, though. That's not too bad at all. I hate when it does that. Boop. 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 Okay. And we did that because now we have these loops going straight. Straight up looping. I think I'm just going to redo it. Redo it? Yeah. Yeah, we're just going to redo it. Yeah, we're just going to redo it. It's just too messy. Hard to know what my original intent was after we've changed it so much. How long does an avatar usually take you? I usually do 2 months, but for an individual avatar, it's 40 hours total, I would say. If I'm doing good. If I'm doing good. Generally, anywhere between 30 and 50 hours, though. I'm getting a little bit faster now, though. Things have been speeding up a little bit. I'm growing stronger. This isn't even his final form. What would an artist's final form look like? His pencil's coming out of his eyeballs. That's 4 there. I just want 2 in the corner. 2, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2. Should be set. Definitely pencils out the eyeballs. IRL comic picking. Oh, I think I'm getting tired because I don't really like this eye either. Either. I think I just got to go with it though. .660. Wait. Wait. One, one, two, one. One, two, three, four. All right, almost there. All right, 8 more minutes, then we're calling it, y'all. Then we're calling it. Do you have a number in mind for how many vertices around the eye? Yes. Um, I base all my topology on a concept I'm calling squaring the circle. Um, so any circle is either going to be 4 vertices, 8 vertices, or 16 vertices, or 32. So are all divisible by 4 because it makes it a lot easier for me to understand how I'm going to connect things together. Um, it sounds a little odd, and I really do want to make a tutorial about this just to like develop my thoughts on it a little bit more. Um, but it's really clear when you look at a cube, right? Because like we work with quads. That's the whole thing. It's like you're supposed to use quads to retopologize or make topology or anything. And if you subdivide a uh, cube, you eventually get a sphere. Um, and so, in this way, I can kind of get a good idea of like, okay, so this side, I know I can unwrap easily because I can follow this edge. And so, this top portion here, that is the top. And I can kind of think about how to make the top of something, especially cylinders are a really nice way to think about it. It's like for any cylinder like this would be one part of a cylinder. I could just extrude that up if I wanted. That's going to be 16 or 8 or 32. Um, just because I know then how to turn it back into a square, which makes it really easy to unfold later. It's a little vague to say. That may be a confusing thing to hear, but um, just knowing that all my loops are going to be 16 verts or um, 8 verts, etc., is very helpful and helps me understand how I'm going to unwrap it because I know that I've made a shape that merges them together, merges the um, that I can make square or make round. You know, sounds weird. It sounds weird, but it's useful. I swear. Put down the straitjacket. Good, good. I hope so. I just recently started talking about it. Well, recently, about month or two ago, I really started kind of pulling my thoughts together on what I'm actually doing when I do that. Hello, Web. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. I'm doing good. What's up to you? What's up to you? What's up with you? To you? With you? Welcome. We're working on this crow man. Birdman. I don't know if he's a crow. But we've made good progress. Got most of his sculpting done. Probably be finished with him in the next few days. But you did catch me towards the end of my stream. We will be ending in about 5 minutes or so. What's his character's name? This is Skerek. Skerek. And I'll show you the full sculpture here or here. This is what he looks like. Pretty cool. And he's going to look a little more colorful by the time we're done. We're getting pretty close. We got pretty much all the forms figured out. Sometimes I call it I'm Scarecrow. 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 I so Scarrick or Scarecrow. This is the client and the chat as well. That makes a little bit more sense. I'm watching the stream while cooking right now. Actually, space that. Space this one. Gonna reboot my body. Have a good one, everyone. See you around. Sounds good, Snartum. Get some good rest. Get that reboot going. We'll catch you tomorrow. For Friday. End of the week already. Man, it's getting quick, getting rapid. Feels like before I know it's just gonna be the end of the year again. Are you using a default principled shader to color the body for sculpting temporarily? Yes, so I am using a principled shader. Right now, where the color is coming from, though, is in a material. In Blender, you have your settings, but it's all in the surface settings. However, there is a viewport display settings. So technically, you can have a separate color, because right now we're not rendered. I can switch to the rendered mode here. I just make them match, but you can have a viewport display color. You can even give it like, if I switch to studio, you can even make it shiny and stuff. So there's a lot of fun little options in here for the viewport display. Just nice to keep things. Sometimes if it's all the same color, it's really hard to tell where things are. Honestly, I was wondering how it was showing up in material mode. Yeah, it's it's really fun for eyes because you can make them look like eyeballs. I like that part especially. And I think we'll use this one. What is our retopo at right now? Only 8,000. We should have enough for everything else. We just need a tongue, finish the body. Might have enough for another set of wings, or at least copying a set of wings. Maybe. I'd have to redo the top of them. But then a medium quest, I don't think I'll be able to do that. All right, I should probably end the stream. Oh, this needs to go there as well. As I say as I keep working. Excuse me. It'll actually make it a little bit bigger. Oh, I also need to sculpt out a mouth cavity. We don't have one yet. All right. Yeah, we'll end it here. I got more to do. So, um, oh, sup feed. Hello, sup feed. I was wondering what is the best way to UV unwrap complex things. Is there an add-on that gets the job done that you can recommend me? There are a few quad remeshers. That's the phrase you want to use. I can't really recommend a specific one since I don't use them very often. Um, but I'm hoping to come out with a tutorial sometime regarding retopology and what I do with it for it. Definitely hit that follow button. But I am ending the stream. You got me right at the end of the stream. So um, if you're interested in asking more questions, always come by tomorrow. I stream Monday through Friday, uh, 9 to 5. Though we're ending a little bit early today. Uh, but there are some UV unwrappers. Oh, you know what? I said quad remesher. You're asking about UV unwrapping. Uh, there's very few add-ons I found that are going to put mark seams on objects for you. There are things that will pack stuff for you or maybe straighten out your UVs, but there's very few things that will unwrap. Really, your best bet is just under standard features. So if you go to unwrap with you have your smart UV project. That one might get you most of the way there, or just a few of the other options in here. But other than that, I don't know of a add-on specifically for UV unwrapping. But I appreciate you asking. But anyway, I am going to end it here, everyone. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I've got to go get ready. I'm going to play some D&D with my buddies. I want to get some rest and get some planning in before then because we got a long session. I'm going to try to kill them today. Anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out with me. Nammers, Sup Feed, Era, Zoom, Snarden, anyone else that's lurking, Scarrick, so many people. I really shouldn't shout out people because the stream's getting busy. And I just appreciate y'all hanging out with me, supporting me. Much appreciated. But I'll catch you all very soon. I'll be back tomorrow and see you then. Niles, thanks for coming by. Absolutely my pleasure. And yeah, see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.